All right, let's get into it. So, looks like general focus is going to be just account progression. Looks like he's scatterbrained, doesn't know where to focus on. So let's go ahead and talk about some stuff that you could be doing. Let's do just quick overview. He sent me this, and I immediately looked at it and talked and told him he needs to pick up his keys. So he's stockpiling it. It was updated yesterday. No, it was updated today. I asked him to update it. This was 3 hours ago, specific time. So it was updated today. So looks like he's actually kind of ahead of me. He has characters in 500. To some degree, he's ahead of me. Probably not all the way, but I mean, characters all level 500. So he's done the Eclipse stream. It looks based off of this, he's eclipsing all of World 4 right now. Everyone's on donuts. Probably swap over to Demon G's pretty soon. Let's start from the basics. Let's talk about his tools. See how his tools are. Okay, immediately I know some things he can. Oh yeah, absolutely. Tools are something you need to focus on. All your characters, like mine, should be in at least Dreadlow to Marble tools, because they give you more upgrade slots, they give you more stats. Meaning more stats gives you more damage. That's generally the first thing I'd probably be focusing on, is getting those up to Dreadlow or Marble. They give you a huge damage boost if you're lacking in damage. Also gives you more skilling efficiency for your respective character skills. So definitely try to do that as soon as you can. Looks like you have all your characters in World 4 splicers, which is actually pretty ahead of the game. Actually, pretty good job. Let's look at your inventory. So you do have Rex rings, but you don't have them on all characters. I don't know if they're like in your slot, your storage or not. But I would recommend getting at least a set of Rex rings because they give you skill efficiency. I think the skill efficiency you get from Rex rings outweighs the benefit of the Emperor opals for all stat. So I think you could still benefit from the skill efficiency of Rex rings. You might have to test it, but all stat does give you skill efficiency. It gives you just generally a bunch of stuff. So I'd still recommend Rex rings over them because it's like 8% skill efficiency or something. If I'm not mistaken. 8%, yeah. This is like 6% all stats. So I mean, yeah, you might. Other thing to talk about, your gear's not bad. You're all in Divine Gear. It's not optimal, it's not efficient, because Divine Gear does get rid of some of the all stat you have. So, I mean, the better option for skilling would be upgrading your characters to Marble, because Marble gives you more all stat than Molten Armor. And like I said, all stat's going to be really good for skilling. So if you're struggling skilling and printing, upgrading your gear is going to be one way you can do that. What about your prayers? If we're going to look at prayers. Take off Fiber of Absence. It's a really bad prayer. And if you don't have enough damage to hit multi-kill in World 6, you probably should focus on getting more damage through like your tools, for example. Like this character specifically, I personally do believe he's not hitting multi-kill because your tools are kind of bad here. But upgrade your tools, get more damage, and never equip Fiber of Absence, especially with how high of a level it is. It's multiplicatively reducing your damage. So I'll give you an idea of how much damage is actually reducing you by. If you go to World 3, you can see how much damage my Booba has, 4.6 Q. If I put on Fiber of Absence, I'm going down to 2500. It's an actual 50% damage reduction. So take that off. You'll probably be hitting multi-kill in no time on this character. But I mean, generally everyone else doesn't have that. My only one concern is you aren't running Royal Sampler. But I think you're fine because you do have this Pristine Charm for printer output. So I think you're fine taking Royal Sampler off. Just double check that you are hitting 90% print sample rate. Go to your skill info, click on construction. You'll see your print sample rate at 90% here. Sorry. Sorry for bothering. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Maybe I guess a ban's a little harsh. I'll just delete the message. I'll go back and unban you. I don't know if you're actually a bot or not. Anyways, back to the review. So okay, yeah, I think you get the general idea of what you should be doing. Just take off Fiber of Absence, never use it. You're pretty much at the point, I think, where you're hitting multi-kill in World 6. I think you have a good idea of your character's weapons and tools. I think you have enough damage to be hitting multi-kill. I haven't looked at your alchemy or stamps to really get a gauge for that, but I hope you're at a point in the count progression where you're hitting multi-kill, so Fiber of Absence is kind of redundant, and it's really, really hindering your damage. I recommend really taking it off. It's a bot. With the first yeah, honestly, with the first message being that, I kind of agree. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about stamps. Okay, it's not... Stamps aren't terrible. You're doing pretty good. Real thing I want to look at is this. Okay, you've gotten your anvil production. Everyone's on threads, which is kind of weird. Got it. That's what you're doing. Okay, let's talk about stamps. So your stamp level is not terrible. I'd really recommend trying to make the push to get this to 10,000. Getting 10,000 stamps is going to be pretty important. The main stamp you're really missing is going to be Stat Wall Street stamp. This is from Trashy Island. The faster you can unlock this, the better, because you can probably upgrade it quite a few times. It does give you base stat, which is scaled by your all stat percent. So I'd highly recommend unlocking this, pumping a bunch of levels into it. I imagine you probably have some decent money stored up. Maybe not. You should probably go kill some green mush if you're struggling for money. But getting the stamp up gives you a ton of damage. And like I said, also the stats give you a bunch of efficiency for World 1, World 2. So it'd help with your prints even more if you do get the stamp and upgrade it a few times. Do I do toolbox reviews? I do. My one problem with toolbox is you need to have it open at the same time I look at it. Otherwise, it won't give me the review. It won't open it up for me. Back to Gtrdun's review. Yeah, try to push your stamp level to 10,000. It's really important because in the Rift you'll unlock. You should have Gilded Stamp, I believe. Yeah, Stamp Mastery. This will give you Gilded Stamp, so it's easier to upgrade your stamps every day. Getting 10,000 just guarantees you one every single day. So highly recommend getting your stamps to 10,000. With the new stamps that World 6 introduced, it's really easy to do that. I mean, you already have high levels in Forge Stamp and Vendor Stamp and Sigil Stamp, so you're doing pretty good there. The main ones I really want you to focus on are going to be Multi-Tool Stamp, Ladle Stamp, Golden Apple Stamp, Stat Wall Street, Stat Graph Stamp, Intellecto Stamp's a huge one, Sash Side Stamp, Maxo Slappo. Anything that's base stat, you really want to focus and try to push as much as possible. Recommend using this tool specifically, the highlight stamp section. Anything that's in green, you are able to upgrade. Anything dark green, you just haven't spent the money to upgrade it. Anything in red, you can't upgrade because you don't have the resources for it. So I'd highly recommend going through that. Anything in green, really try to upgrade that as much as you can. Anything that's grayed out, they require some rare resource, or they require like items to upgrade. So it's like Iron Plate Body, for example. Those ones I'd try to upgrade without the Gilded Stamp. And maybe upgrade like Matty Bag if when you've done through your stamp grind, just to upgrade your carrying capacity, help with your anvil production, for example. But yeah, stamps, get them to minimum 10,000 is my highest recommendation. Stamps give you a lot of damage. I don't want to go through the hassle of unplugging the node from lab, but if you unplug it, you'll see you probably get like a 25 to 30% damage reduction. That's how big stamps are. So I'd highly recommend trying to get this up even further, specifically the stat stamps, because they give you a ton of damage. Let's move on to alchemy. So, I mean, you have, it looks like all the World 6 bubbles unlocked, so you're doing good there. You're pushing sigils, which is pretty good too. You're on the vial grind. Looks like you probably have over 27 vials at 13, which means you have over 100% skinny yocal, which is pretty good. My biggest advice, it seems like you're already on the grind to thread, so you're doing a good job there. Next would be nails. I mean, the bonus you get here from nails isn't that good, but the important thing is getting it to level 13, so you get the bonus for vial mastery, getting more level 13 vials. The easiest ones for you to go from here to upgrade are going to be the Dune Souls. Krakenade's going to be pretty easy for you to upgrade, I imagine. Getting OJ Juice up to level 13. The Frosty Fireflight Souls are going to be pretty good. If you're struggling with Worship, we'll talk about that in a second, a way you can kind of juice that up. But the Souls are something that's actually relatively easy to get to level 13. I myself am not there, but I am going to be getting there in the next probably week or so. But the Souls are something you can probably juice out and get to level 13. Specifically, Dune Soul will be pretty good and easy to upgrade. Specifically about your bubbles, I mean, the main thing you should be focusing on... Oh my god. Jesus Christ. The main thing you should be focusing on are the skilling bubbles. So I don't know what your prints are looking like right now. Oh my god. Your Refinery is cracked. Your prints aren't terrible. They could be better. So it looks like probably your major roadblock right now is actually going to be prints. So my big recommendation and focus for you is going to be on skilling efficiency, trying to up that as much as possible. So it's, I mean, you're doing okay in like log production, so I won't touch on that. But if you do want to upgrade log production specifically for like atom generation or whatever you need, Hocus Chopus is a good one. I see you're atoming this. Labrain Tool is also a good one. Severe Purple is really important, as is Tree Sleeper. Idleon Toolbox, I know you sent one to me. You can go in there, go to Alchemy, go to your bubbles, and type this at 90%. That's what you should be aiming for at this stage in the game. Getting your skilling bubble specifically up to 90% would be something really good. Help your juice out your skilling. Other thing to talk about would probably be your second bubbles. Upgrading these to, I think 450 is the 90% capacity. Getting those up to 450 is going to be really good. That would that helps with both your damage as well as skilling, getting those up, because it affects things like Hardy Diggy. It's going to affect things like Strong Tools. Where is it there? I think it also affects Molt Orange and Dream. Does impact Dream Ironfish. So getting those up would give you better prints for ore and for fishing as well. I imagine with your print for Krakens, I think it's a really low print. You really want to focus on your Archer right now because Kraken is almost there to 1 billion. You're almost getting it to level 13 Vial. Getting that weapon power is going to be nice for getting a little eke out of damage, but you want to focus on your Warrior class specifically. I think you've done a lot of focus on your Mage class for skilling, so go back to your Warrior. That's going to be the second best thing to do. Flies are notoriously hard to do, so I mean, you can start that grind getting these bubbles up. The biggest one's going to be the second bubble, Warrior's Rule and Archer or Bust. Then going for the like tool power or HP efficiency that it gives through like Hardy Diggy or Sanic Tools or Strong Tools are gonna be pretty good too. Yeah, let me talk about your refinery. Your refineries, you have level 78 red salts. This is probably the only time I'd recommend, even getting close to advising turning on auto refine because level 78 red salt is like insane. That is crazy. I would just double check. I actually don't know if your refinery is out of whack because, like I said, the salt chart is kind of bad for higher end salt. I would just look at. Oh shit, mine's ready to pick up actually. I would highly recommend looking at Idleon Toolbox because it does give you a cost per hour and production per hour breakdown of your salts. If you look at mine, for example, I'm printing 10.4k red salts per hour, but I'm using 6.7k, so I'm running at a surplus. So this is good for infinite salt generation. I would just double check you're at that point right now. I don't know why these aren't active, but you should probably activate them. I mean, are you ranking them up? I don't know what the story is here, but you're doing pretty good. Never turn off red. You got to get that rank 13 red salt vial. I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. I just mean for the sake of infinite salt production, if you weren't pushing for the level 13 vial, then I mean you could turn this on auto refine. Yeah, you do want to keep it on 0% to infinitely rank up, but I mean it's also something that becomes more active as you start ranking up red salts. Once it hits this 1 million cap, it starts increasing the amount of power it generates. So it ranks up faster, which means you need to be more conscious and active about it in ranking up. Otherwise, you're not producing red salts. So it creates like a period of inefficiency if you don't check it every single time you get like an Omnifab proc or you do the DK refinery. You need to be really conscious of it when you get to high levels of red salt. Otherwise, you're being inefficient and not generating it all the time. So I'd be careful about that. So I mean, you could turn this on 0% to get more DK damage and to start pushing higher to get the level 13 vials. All right, I'll see you acidified. Have a good one. So I mean, you could do that. Think about that. But you should probably rebalance your salts because I feel like these are low for where you are at. Also, never auto-refine green salts. Green salts are something you always want to push, similarly for red, so try to push that as well. Salt, like this is something you could try to push out. I mean, getting liquid rate and capacity is going to be pretty good. The damage is kind of negligible. It's a small increase. But getting liquid rate and capacity is also pretty good. So you can start changing your traps to mousies if you want to try to finish up this the salt lick production to help your Bubo push alchemy a little bit faster for liquid regen. But I mean, it is going to take 79.3 million mousies, so it might take you a little bit. But it's something you can probably feasibly max out pretty soon. Yeah, you're definitely. No, we talked about it. You're eclipsing World 4 right now. You're going about it the right way, where you're sending your characters in there and doing it. So you're doing pretty good there. Keep it up. Just make sure you're getting high kills per hour to do that. I recommend probably getting 1 mil plus to be efficient about it, so you spend less time in World 4 and start that way you're able to go back and do other things. And you haven't pushed all the way through World 6, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend trying to push World 6 as opposed to maybe eclipsing World 4, because one of the alchemy bubbles does give you crop evolution chance for the amount of worlds you push through in World 6. Where is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, yeah. So the more portals you push through on all your characters, the more crop evo chance you get, which makes farming go a little bit faster and easier for you. Okay, building. So you're building Atom Collider right now, pushing Frozen Alone. You're pushing most of your tower defense. That's pretty good. Looks like you're doing the right thing. Yeah, I mean, my one big suggestion right now, worship is a pretty important thing. I would highly recommend trying to push your tower levels a lot, because the more waves you get, the better your MSA totalizer is going to be. So I don't know what your wave's looking right now. Oh, yeah. Dude, you can probably go back and do tower defense. Like, you can really go back and upgrade these waves to probably like 130, 140 minimum. In like World 1 to World 6. Like, it's really easy. You should probably go back and do that on your Beastmaster because he does have a snare talent, which makes tower defense a lot easier. Hey, Fighting Boy, what's up? So you can really upgrade. You can really upgrade the amount of waves you do in tower defense, which increases a lot of World 6 general account progression. That gives you a bunch of essence gain, Jaden coins, meal cooking speed's a big one, sailing speed, bits for gaming. It gives you a lot of bonuses, so don't neglect tower defense. You probably have really good tower levels to progress, so I'd recommend trying to go through and actually doing that. Get some extra bonuses. If you're trying to push tower levels, or rather worship levels on your character, I'd recommend trying to use all your soul in Frosty Firefight right now because it gives you the most EXP per charge. So it'd be the easiest way for you to upgrade your account in worship wise. Overall, your skulls are doing pretty good. Why doesn't... Did I miss this? Do you not? You don't have a skull equipped on your Bubo? Equip a skull. You're just missing out on charge. Go do that. I may have caught you as you're crafting a skull. I don't know, but equip that. Also, you're suffering from not having a Zerg Rush again. You can hit Wave 121 really easy in Goblin Core Fest. I'd highly recommend doing that and upgrading this prayer because the bonus it gives you is insane. The AFK gain rate, this applies to skilling and fighting, so this would help you eclipse World 4 even faster. You have skilled Dimwit maxed out. This is really good. This in combination with Zerg Rush again is going to be really important for getting you high scaling prints. So definitely go back and do that. Some of the more important prayers that you probably should max out would be Midas Mind for more drop rate. This is additive, but this is how you get more drop rate, so max it out. Jawbreaker is also pretty good if you're money farming. This is multiplicative. So if you go over your players and you hover over Monster Cash, you can see prayer there. It's referring to Jawbreaker. This is multiplicative. So leveling that up is really good for your Bubo. Rather, not just Bubo. DK is also really good for money farming, but Bubo right now is kind of the conventional wisdom. So you can upgrade Jawbreaker, equip it on your Bubo, get a bunch of money. That's how I'm getting a bunch of whatever the fuck coin this is. Yeah. For your Vman, you can also upgrade Balance of Proficiency. This gives you a bunch of skill EXP. If I'm not mistaken, this impacts Worship and Trapping as well, so you can snapshot the nature traps that you have on your Vman to get you more EXP to push his levels up more. Actually, something I forgot about that I want to talk about is going to be Vman. So coming back to Worship and Trapping levels, hey Dastit, what's up? Coming back to Worship and Trapping levels, let's talk about your Vman's levels. So you're currently 84, pretty good. 82, okay, it's not bad. So one thing you can really do to juice out your Vman specifically is obviously do the transfusion talent to give you a bunch of EXP. Trapping and worship, we can actually do a test right now. I did this in the Discord. I kind of posted my test results. But trapping and worship efficiency don't matter like at all when you're this end game. You get a bunch of scaling through multi-tool stamp and like the base trapping efficiency you get from the stamps. you'll hit like the minimum threshold needed for bonus critters and bonus souls relatively easily. So much so that you can start nuking your skill EXP to get you a massive amount of skill efficiency to start getting a massive amount of skill EXP. So if we go to worship, for example, and I look at this, for example. So I don't have the transfusion on right now. So let me go ahead and worship just one charge so you can see. And we do a little comparison here. So I got like 1 million goblin souls or something for that one charge. So let me go ahead and equip transfusion here. Let's go pop worship and compare what the results are. Oh, would you look at that? It's the same. So you trade off skill efficiency for EXP, but skill efficiency doesn't matter at all for worship. So yeah, go and do that if you want to juice out worship EXP to help get you more levels in worship and trapping for your Vman. The reason I say it's important is because of his talent here, Species Epoch. The way Species Epoch works is every level above 100 that you combine for your trapping and worship is going to give you a massive amount of critters and souls. So this makes it easier to push level 13 vials as well as level 13 vials for trapping and worship just combined. It'll make it a ton easier to getting to the point of green stacking those souls and critters and pushing those vials even further so you get more account bonuses. Let me take that buff off. Also, a little bonus tip. If you go to the party dungeon, it'll wipe all the buffs you have, since I need the efficiency for mining God Shard right now. So yeah, you always want to be pushing worship and trapping levels on your Vman. The more that is, the more critters and souls you're going to be getting. So it's really important you do that. If you don't have them booked, I highly recommend you booking them. You don't even have this talented. So I highly recommend probably doing another speed run to try to push this and getting this booked to 245 if you have Eldritch Fury Relic, because getting it to 245 is going to give you a lot more critters and souls. Also, Voodoo Sanctification is really important. This multi-cooper tier is pretty important. This is really important for meal cooking speed. This is probably on par with Diamond Chef with how big of a bonus this gives you, so go back and do that. Where were we? World 3. We kind of finished World 3. Let's talk about Atom Collider. Where are you at? So Boron is not level 20 yet. So you are kind of hindering your alchemy progress by not getting Boron up to level 20, but you're also at a good point. You're also kind of at an advantage right here. So what you can do, Boron, when you upgrade it, kind of soft resets the amount of bubbles you're able to click per day. Sorry, my timer's going off. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry, I was making a pot roast, and the pot roast is almost done. Boron, so going back to it. Boron, when you upgrade it, it kind of soft resets the amount of upgrades you can do. So say you spend your 42, and this is 32, you actually probably have 42. When you spend your 42 upgrades in alchemy and you upgrade Boron, it'll soft reset and give you more clicks you can do in alchemy. So the best strategy for you right now is collect enough atoms to not only spend per day in alchemy, also to upgrade Boron and then go back and upgrade more bubbles in alchemy. So you'll be able to upgrade probably like 60 bubbles in 1 day because you upgraded this. My one problem I foresee is you don't have enough atom generation to really do that. So again, I really want to go back and really emphasize how important it is you upgrade your skilling bubbles. I mean, the easiest thing to get to an atomable point would be oak logs because they require the least amount of efficiency to print. So I'd highly recommend going through, getting a higher skill print of this. Also, I see a lot of your characters are printing monster resources. That's not the most efficient way to be using your 3D printer right now. The best thing you should be doing is having all of your classes do their class-specific prints. What I mean by that is DK should be printing ore, Barbarian should be printing fish, your Siegebreaker should be printing flies, your mages should be chopping only. And your Vman and Beastmaster, I recommend doing monster materials because Beastmaster doesn't really specialize in anything. Siegebreaker is the one that has, rather Bowman technically, has the one that's catching specific. Beastmaster does have agility, which provides that efficiency, but it's not as good of a bonus as Siegebreaker, so it's better spent probably using for resources for Refinery. Beastmaster, I mean. So I'd recommend trying to do that as opposed to everyone doing monster resources. Stick your Beastmaster into doing monster resources, that way you can free up everyone else to getting more skilling prints, which allow you to push more atoms. I imagine you're probably able to do that right now to get a bunch of atoms to start upgrading boron and getting more alchemy clicks per day. Okay, talk about cooking. You're at E37. Since you're in World 6, I don't think this is actually... I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I mean, you have E37, so you're doing pretty good here. Least time to cook next. You have a lot of meals you can probably upgrade right now. Looks like you probably have food lust, which is kind of throwing this out of whack. But I go through the meals you are taking the least time to cook and upgrade them. The most important ones above all are going to be meal cooking speed. So anything you see here that is meal cooking speed, you can actually Control F, meal cooking speed. Anything that has that, recommend upgrading that instead. Also, getting marshmallows is going to be pretty good for giving you more meal cooking speed. So when you do unlock that spice, highly recommend trying to do that. Also, you're at Sky Doggies, aren't you? You're at Sky Doggies, so you should be able to get that spice, actually. So, I mean, are you suffering in territory, or how's that going? I mean, it looks like you haven't won it yet, so, I mean, I don't know if you're struggling in that, but I recommend trying to push that, try to unlock that spice so you can get that meal. Getting it's going to give you a ton of meal cooking speed to help juice out your cooking speed, so try to do that. Also, if you get it to level 30, you'll not only benefit from Diamond Chef, but also Fluoride from cooking, from Atom Collider. So you stand to benefit a lot from increasing your meal cooking speed by just upgrading, unlocking this meal and upgrading it. But I mean, overall, you're doing pretty good. My overall advice is try to go through one by one, least time to cook next, and just take like a stack of 100 to 500 ladles and just use them kind of down the line to upgrade your meals. That's something I'm probably going to be doing pretty soon, just to get some more cooking speed. Lab, you're doing good here. It's lab. Breeding, we kind of touched on this. Your main focus right now should be really trying to push this territory spice battle. I'd experiment with comps. Trasher is really good when you hit sort of Lullaby and Dharma Mesa, because Trasher, what it does, you can click away the enemy's attacks. So it makes things go faster, but it's more active than mono. So it's kind of a trade-off if you want to do things more active versus more passive. So you can try to do that. But yeah, your real focus right now, cooking-wise, is going to be pushing this spice battle and breeding to unlock that and get the marshmallow meal. Okay, shiny pets, you're pushing star signs. It's not a bad thing to be pushing. My biggest advice regarding shiny pets is don't spread it out across everyone. Like don't do like 20 pets in your fence yard. Do like 2 or 3 maybe. 1 is better. That way you're able to upgrade it faster. Every pet that you have in the fence yard counts as 1 day or like of progress, not including like the faster shiny pet level upgrade. But like each pet counts as like 1 instance. So if you have 10 pets, it counts for like 10 days of progress, which is multiplied by faster shiny pet level upgrade that you get through the shiny pets themselves as well as the crop depot. So it's more efficient. It's better. It's faster to upgrade 1 pet at a time, 1 or 2 pets at a time, as opposed to 6 or 7 or however many you have here. And Rift, you've unlocked everything in Rift. Probably another thing you can probably do is get your account level to 1,000 in mining, smithing, chopping, just to give you a bunch of skill EXP, make leveling things even faster. And that's contract mastery. Not much to talk about there. Divinity, you have everything unlocked. Good. I don't know if you have Doot or not. Based off of how you're linking things, it makes me think you have Doot. So, I mean, if you have Doot, there's no concern to not linking because you're technically linked to everything. But if you don't have Doot, link your characters to 2 gods because you don't have lab. So, yeah. Nothing really to nitpick here. You have everyone on Tranquil, so you're leveling them up. They're pretty good. Level 80, I believe, is kind of the minimum level you want everyone in Divinity, so you can get the maximum bonus from the minor link bonus that you get from the gods. So specifically, Goharet will give you AFK gains. It's at 5%, I believe, once your characters are at level 80 Divinity, so you get a better bonus from that. Also, something I want to talk about, it kind of goes unnoticed. Big P. This will actually increase the AFK gains you get, so if you want to level this up to 90% as well, this impacts your skilling and fighting AFK and damage and a bunch of stuff. So, something you can do there. Sailing. Okay, let's talk about the big one. So, I imagine you don't have sovereign artifacts, I imagine. Yeah, you're far from sovereign artifacts. Nothing to nitpick there. When you do get sovereign artifacts, it's probably like a few weeks, maybe a month away. But when you do, immediately try to go for sovereign Fossary Tusk. That's going to give you a bunch of artifact find chance, make it easier to find things. Obviously, the chance is still going to be extremely low, but that's something you can think about. Also, really hard focus trying to unlock Eldritch Fury Relic as soon as possible. Getting 245 talent level is going to be extremely important for your account. So I'd highly recommend trying to do that as soon as possible. Also, you're missing a bunch of the last remaining relics, so I try to go through and do that as soon as you can. Because you're missing out on multi-kill per damage tier, so you're trying to eclipse World 4 right now, but you don't have this unlocked. This is such a huge bonus. This would save you some time in the future, so I'd recommend probably pushing World 6 right now as opposed to getting Eclipse Skulls right now. This would give you just more multi-kill, which makes that grind for Eclipse Skulls even faster. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the World 6 kills because you're there. I feel like you're meaningfully you're actually in World 6 at a good point in your account progression. So most of the reviews that I've been doing, I don't talk about it because I don't believe those people should really be in World 6. But I think you are at a point where I'm comfortable saying you are actually in World 6. So let's talk about some of these bonuses. My one big advice is try to upgrade try to get some of the golden artifacts that you're seeing here. Keep them in your inventory because that's how you benefit from them. So right now, oh my god, almost 65 scarf, that's pretty good. But try to get these relics up as much as you can to your charm level. That way you get a bunch of bonuses. Gold scroll is extremely important. I don't know where you are in the Jade Emporium, but if you are able to get to leaks to get this gives you higher bonuses for the artifacts, for the charms in your inventory. Rather, everything that you equip. So it'll give you more stealth, more item find chance, more sneaking, more jade coins. This is a really good charm to have. You really want a high level of this. Also, if you're trying to push jade coin, getting a higher level of gold coin is going to be pretty good. This one, gold eye, is really good for getting more sneaking EXP. I mean, they're all good, but it's something you really want to focus on for sneaking specifically, and getting a higher level scroll of power as well. This is going to be really important for pushing. Just progressing, getting more jade generation. You want this on your highest level sneaking character. It'll probably be like one of your first characters that you put in sneaking. I mean, your ES is level 64, so I'd put it on them. Try to unlock this as high as you can to get you more sneaking XP, more jade coin, more total stealth. There's a bunch of stuff you can benefit from this. And prestige charm. You have all the pristine charms. There's nothing to talk about there. Beanstalk. So you do have this unlocked. You're missing some of them that are really easy to farm, specifically fishing efficiency. The golden ribs are going to help you a lot. I mean, going back to your Kraken, you have a low print of that. Getting this stacked up to 10,000, putting on the beanstalk is going to help you a lot because you'll drop 10,000 on the beanstalk. You can put 10,000 on your character and you'll get double the bonus. So you can really juice out your fishing efficiency here by upgrading this, trying to get 10,000 dropped on your beanstalk. Also, going back to stamps, this is how you scale golden food effect. This is one of the ways you can scale it. The other way would be alchemy. Getting this stamp up even more is going to be really important. And going back to alchemy, specifically Shimmeron, getting this up to 90% is going to be really important to help get you more gold food effect as well. On your warriors specifically, so your Blood Berserker is going to have more mining efficiency and fishing efficiency from the gold food effect. So if they're on the beanstalk and on your character, you're going to get a massive increase in fishing and mining efficiency. So, yeah, something to think about. And regarding this window right here, I'm going to say something controversial. I would maybe think about not upgrading currency conduit right now. The reason I say that is because you're not at eggs, and there is a bubble right here that makes the scaling of it slower. So the earlier you get this bonus, the better it is. I don't think it's retroactive from what I've seen in various Discords. So the earlier you get this bonus and the earlier you're able to upgrade it and get to the eggs to upgrade this bubble, the better it is for your account. This just makes it a lot easier to scale currency conduit, so you get more jade generation and sneaking. So maybe think about not upgrading that and trying to focus on upgrading Way of Stealth, Looting Ambition, Charm Collector, as opposed to upgrading Currency Conduit right now. Then once you get that bubble up to an admirable point, you're able to upgrade it a lot. Start upgrading Currency Conduit a little bit. Okay, farming. My biggest advice probably is going to be upgrading Product Doubler, Stronger Vines, and Land Plots. These give you a lot of bonuses for more crops. Obviously, this just gives you straight up +1 crop. This multiplies with Product Doubler. Land Plots itself is also a multiplier to fighting, or rather farming, rather not fighting. But getting extra plots obviously gives you more crops to grow, so it's effectively a multiplier. I would just recommend upgrading Stronger Vines, Product Doubler. Product Doubler you can really upgrade a lot because it only takes 18 broccoli right now. Also, IE is updated, so you can see the future crop rotation for this. So you can upgrade this a lot, get a bunch of crops out of it. Other thing that's important is going to be growth speed. Growth speed is going to be pretty important as well. This gives you obviously faster collection time and also allows you to hit overgrowth even faster for your characters. Will this be going on YouTube? Yes, it will. Speaking of YouTube, this video is, I'd say, pretty done. I mean, there's not much else to talk about. We talked pretty in depth, I think, about a lot of the different skills. Hopefully, give you guys a little bit of insight into what I'm thinking. But I think your main focus right now is going to be a little bit of everything, but especially skilling. I think you really need to hammer down on skilling because you're missing out on some bonuses you get from Atom Collider. And I think you are decently progressed enough to where Atom Collider becomes a worry for you. You stand to gain a lot from upgrading Atom Collider, as I do say in most of the recent videos, at least some of the ones I haven't uploaded yet. Atom Collider is a big focus for everyone, but you could eke out a little bit more efficiency and damage and skilling for your character by upgrading Boron, upgrading your bubbles there. Fluoride's going to be a huge meal cooking speed upgrade, so definitely do that. If you're in gaming and you have Snail, upgrading Sodium is going to be pretty good. There's a lot you can gain here in Atom Collider, but you just don't have the atom generation for it. So going back to what I said earlier, your main focus really is going to be your class-specific skills is what you should be printing. Your Vman and your Beastmaster are going to be important for monster materials to maintain your refinery and pushing level 13 vials with Vman through speedrun. I didn't really talk too much in depth about that. I trust you know about it, but briefly talk about it. His speedrun gives you a ton of multi-kill and mob respawn rate, which makes printing in the speedrun really effective for getting high monster prints. If you look at my Vman specifically, when I did my prints, they're roughly, these are outdated, 3.25 million lenses. So it's really easy to hit level 13 vial for Vman specifically because he hits really high multi-kill and mob respawn rate. So yeah, I think your main focus here really is going to be skilling and pushing vials and getting more atom generation. That'll really help out your account. Getting Boron to level 20 is going to be a huge goal for you because it'll help you upgrade your alchemy more smoothly to give you anything you want. Skilling, damage, you name it, whatever you want. But yeah, definitely focus on skilling, get your character's tools up. The other thing I didn't mention, but I did see, is try to get Divine Scarf on people. Obviously, the drop chance of the Cattle Crook necklace is really low, but getting Divine Scarf is really huge because this gives you 25% all AFK gain. If you have the chip that doubles the pendant, this gives you 50% all AFK gain. So again, this would not only increase your skilling, but also increase the fighting AFK gains you get, which will help you eclipse World 4 even faster. So you're missing out on some bonuses that would really help bolster your account and really like skyrocket your progress. So I'd highly recommend focusing on skilling specifically. That would make everything else kind of fall into place. Hopefully that gives you a lot to work on. I imagine it won't be like a month worth of progress, but you probably get pretty deep. It probably make pushing World 6 a little bit easier and also help your account progression overall, especially with Boron upgrading. So perfect. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on the Discord. Idleon chat is pretty helpful, and I think I like the community enough to trust them to give you some advice where you're stuck. So yeah, hope you had a great time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.